wholesome is that moment right there? If there's any guy that I'm more excited for the success of this season, it's Terry McLaurin. He's been through so much in his 6 years as a Washington Commander, Redskin, and football team player that he deserved this, and I cannot be more ecstatic for him. Guys like Terry, Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, Trust Wade, Jeremy Reeves, they've been here through the thick and thin, man, and they just all deserve this success that we're finally getting. Now to today's video, we're going to talk about an injury update on Daron Payne, as it seems like he has a dislocation of a body part, and we're going to also talk about Brian Robinson as if he should be benched due to the lack of productivity that we've been receiving from him. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 9,000 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you help me reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight to it.
The way that we live is not for everybody. We're going to run and put our bodies on people in a violent manner.
I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's
You know what time it is. It's time to come out.
I love the way she move it, shake it on me.
Oh, because how you Curtis, you got what? It ain't in the fact that you didn't want to come here. It's how you disrespected us like we punks here. On Sunday, now we gotta go down, shoulder. I'm talking pure belt to your fucking ass, shoulder. JGTS about to win us another one. Take over Motown like the Temptations. All because of Ben Johnson, we the reason y'all ain't gonna make it. Damn, man. So first things first, we got to talk about Daron Payne, as yesterday he got injured in the game versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I want to play in which, in fact, he actually made a good play. He blew the play up, and he ended up hurting his finger. And ended up looking at the x-rays, and they look kind of nasty.
Oh! Ew! Dude!
Today. Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
I'm not gonna lie to you, the x-rays definitely looked, pretty nasty, but it was a dislocation of a finger. There's no talk on about his timetable, but he walked out the stadium, very happy, very enthusiastic, and he did have a little wrap on his hands. So I know the first thought is to have Daron Payne miss no time, have him to put a club on, and he can heal it up in the offseason. And that's the route that I feel like that they're gonna ultimately go. I think, did he already have a season in which he played with a club on his hand? I could be wrong about that, but I feel like Daron Payne's played with a club before. Or it was Jonathan Allen, I think, that played with an actual club on. So we know that it's possible, but that's a good thing that it's dislocated and not flat out broken. Although some people say when injuries happen, you probably prefer a clean break opposed to the opposite of a clean break, or a fracture rather, because you can't really tell if it's completely broken or not. So good thing it's not a fracture, and good thing it's not broken. It's dislocated. Again, another thought that popped in my head was like, hey, he could just pop that jump back in place. But immediately once he started grabbing at the hand, you knew it was either dislocated or a very serious jam. And once I guess the swelling went down, we found out that it was dislocated. So there's no update on his timeline as of right now, as if he's gonna miss this game versus the Lions. But my first thought and initiated prediction is going to be that he ended up playing. I don't necessarily know if he practices all week long or whatever when we start to practice on Wednesday, but I find it very hard to believe that he's going to miss the biggest game of his career due to a finger. And again, I'm not trying to discredit a finger injury or any injury for that matter, because every injury should be taken seriously. But that being said, I just don't think he's going to allow this injury to hold him out from the biggest game of his career. Shout out to Anthony Thomas for guessing correctly. It was Austin Eckler as the Commanders player to guess by their voice last video. Surprise! Guess what's making its way back into your space after its 2-year hiatus? You've guessed it. Juan Gotti's Top of the Morning show will be back January 6, 2025, live at 9 a.m. Mondays and Wednesdays. So bring your coffee and all your morning dews with you as we're back on Top of the Morning Show. See you over there.
Top of the morning, 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 top of the morning. Hold on.
And with the chance to go to the NFC Championship. So Daron Payne, in my opinion, I think he'll be fine as far as playing wise. I think he'll play with a club on it. Who knows? Maybe playing with the club on can give him some type of advantage because as we know, all season long, we have not really got anything from the interior defensive line. Two guys that we've been paying the most for, Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, has really been non-existent this year. Obviously, Jonathan Allen hasn't played a lot when he's out there. He's not really producing anything. And same could be said for Daron Payne, although I feel like Daron Payne has had some couple of plays that were solid. Again, the one that he did get injured on yesterday, he definitely had made a couple good plays. You know what I'm saying? Dan Quinn also said linebacker Jordan McGee re-injured his hamstring and could be out this week as well. So Jordan McGee, man, he shows some promise at times, man, but he just can't stay healthy. And now you out there with Frankie Louvu, Bobby Wagner, and if we had to go to the bench, it would probably be Michael Walker or somebody like that. But definitely a couple injuries. Washington's a little bit banged up. Not nothing like severe. Again, that definitely hurts. But I think he can put a club on it and he should be good. And no update, in my opinion, at this point is a good update if you ask me. We'll wait till Wednesday to see if we see the injury report on his status. But I say Daron Payne's going to be good to go. So we do actually have an update from Jimmy Lyle. He's like the medical doctor for the Detroit Lions. And he says if Daron Payne injury doesn't need to have surgery, it could be a 3-week healing process. But there is a possibility if it's structural damage that it would need surgery. I'm still in the mindset that all he needs to do is put a club on it and he can get surgery in the offseason. Moving on to the next topic of discussion, we're going to talk about Brian Robinson and if he should be benched because Brian Robinson has not played well at all. And I feel like it was put on mass display yesterday because it was a bigger stage in primetime football and you were looking for any kind of running attack. Now, what is the reasoning for Brian Robinson not running the ball pretty well? It's a couple of factors, as you may have think and assume. It's him really not hitting the hole fast, not having the greatest vision, and just simply not being that athletically gifted as the back. And also, it doesn't help when your lineman is getting pushed back into your lap and not creating no rush lanes for you. And that's when a guy like Brian Robinson is screwed because he doesn't have that God-given speed that if my rush lanes get clogged, if there's nowhere to go, I can probably outrun somebody to the sideline and turn up field. He doesn't have none of that in his bag. He's literally a power back. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington entertained the position of benching him. I think he's too valuable to this team to flat out just inactive him, and he's not gonna be inactive. I think you just call up Chris Rodriguez as the 4th string running back, and you roll with 4 running backs, and you do running back committee. I don't think this running back room is good enough to be cutting guys that could be contributing. Again, I'm not saying Chris Rodriguez is a world beater. I'm not saying he's better than Brian Robinson, but at this point, we need to find a way to get some type of new energy up in there because Brian Robinson, man, again, he struggled mightily since the Tennessee game. It's been like the last time that he's had some type of quality game in the backfield. So I don't know if it's the injuries, the multiple injuries that are harping on him. I don't know what it is specifically about Brian Robinson, but I definitely would entertain the opportunity of calling up a Chris Rodriguez. If there's somebody else out there that you could maybe call up, I would do so, just for the simple fact to see who can get a spark going. We don't have a running back that obviously is Bucky Irvin or Jameer Gibbs or David Montgomery. These guys that are Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, we don't have none of these guys. We have a bunch of guys that's running the ball. So if we can just find a guy that can hold it down for this season, man, and just do a running back by committee, I think that can hold us all to the regular season. Now, I'm not saying Brian Robinson can't be here next year. I fully expect him to be here next year. He's on the last year of his deal. But I think we need to have a Detroit Lions kind of approach, right? We need to have a Sonic and Knuckles, and we need a guy that's going to be fast as hell, and Brian Robinson be the bulldozer. Could you imagine that kind of backfield with the speed and legs and intelligence and accuracy of Jaden Dax? Could you imagine imagine what that would look like with the loaded backfield of that kind of caliber, it would be insane. But Brian Robinson definitely has not gave Washington anything. As in the Bucks game yesterday, he went 10 attempts for 16 carries, averaged 1.6 yards a carry. He did have 4 receptions, but on the receptions, you throw that to Austin Eckler, he's probably taking that 8 yards, down the field. So it definitely sucks that B-Rob hasn't been contributing, man. I really can't tell you as to why that is. I would like to just attribute it to a couple of factors of him being maybe banged up and offensive line not really opening no holes, and he just simply isn't seeing he doesn't simply just have the athletic ability to, make up for the lack of push or the lack of missing a hole, etc. So that's my take on it, and that's my thoughts. I wish Brian Robinson the best. I hope he is actually good and he can turn this thing around, because we're going to need him big. Because all we have right now running the ball is just Jaden Daniels, bro. And Austin Eckler did fill in really well yesterday. I got to give Eck some credit for that. Eck definitely did a hell of a good job yesterday. And I think at that point, you have to call up a guy, or you maybe have to roll with Jeremy McNichols, because I would say roll with just Eck, but Eck is so much important to this offense. He's much more of a pass catcher than any of our backs, so we need him, and he is super, super, super important. And obviously, we know he has the history of injuries, so we don't want to overload his plate. But yeah, though, man, let me know what you guys think about it down below in the comment section. Would you guys entertain the thought of benching Brian Robinson, or would you continue to play him and hopefully he gets out of this slump? We're in the playoffs, man, divisional round. This is the Detroit team that's pretty much beat up and battered on defense, and this could be a game where we could take advantage of both the on the ground and through the air. We just got to make the right plays and have the right personnel out there. So with the ability to maybe take a chance at the run game this week, you probably want to lean a lot more on Austin Eckler or maybe even Jeremy McNichols, for the simple fact that Jeremy McNichols is the closest guy that we have to some type of breakaway speed. Unfortunately, we need to go ahead and get that in the off season, and then we should be set. And say, let me know what you guys thought of this video in the comment section down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. As always, being boy Juan Gotti. We want to roll to 9,000 subscribers, so we greatly appreciate it if you want to reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. You have a blessed one. Stay safe. Be easy out there. Peace.